Hey everybody, and welcome to this edition of Mindset Mondays with Uncle Gary. In this episode, we're going to cover off a whole lot of things about failure and why you always tend to fail. But before we get into that, please go ahead, like and subscribe. It really does help the YouTube algorithms recognize the channel as valuable, and it promotes and shares it with other people so that everybody can get exposure to this content. So please click on the thumbs up to like, and you can click on the subscribe with a little bell icon to hear about new episodes. Now let's talk about what our relationship to failure looks like, because we've all probably learned that failing is bad and we should never do it. So let's go ahead and jump into this episode. So as I mentioned, most people, when you're growing up, learn that if you fail at something, it's a very bad thing. Whether it's your teacher that told you, your parents that scolded you when you failed something, or something happened and you made up a story that it was very bad to fail. And then we live with that hanging over us and stopping us from doing a whole range of things that we'd really like to do in life because we're always worried about failing. Well, I'm here to share something that a mentor of mine once told me. He said to me, Gary, if at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you. Now, I found that quite amusing at the time, but it's really, really good advice, because what it tells me is that for everybody else who is not into skydiving, you're supposed to fail. That's what makes doing something fun, is failing a few times before you get it right. That's the point. It's not intended that everything you try in your life, you just get right the first time out the gate. Imagine if we approached our life like a small child as opposed to the way we approach our lives as adults. Small children, when they're learning to walk, often fall down flat on their face. They fall onto their knees as they're standing up and they're trying to walk, and then they keep falling down. If we approached learning to walk like we do the way we approach our lives, we would fall down once and say, that's it, I tried it, it didn't work, I'm never going to walk again. And we'd be crawling on our stomachs the whole time of our life. It's not how it works. As little children, we're actually wired to try and try and try again. Keep trying, keep going. You don't have to be good at it, just keep going. So that's really what this mindset video is about. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is how it may manifest in your life. You may not be aware of how failure is limiting you. I'll give you an example. I know some artists, people who paint, and one of the things they tell me is that they suffer sometimes from white paper phobia. And what that looks like is they stare at a white blank canvas, unable to start their painting because they're worried that it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a failure. This is how it affects them. Some authors, people who want to write a book that they're dying to write, battle and sit in front of their keyboard trying to find what to write to start their book, and they're absolutely stopped. So everybody is affected in a different way. So the first thing to do is notice when you're stopped from a fear of failure. There's nothing wrong with having a fear of failure. It's what we're taught is a bad thing. So when you recognize, wow, I'm really stopped here, I don't want to fail, you gain a certain power over understanding what's happening. The next thing is a saying that a very famous IBM executive said, if you want to succeed, fail a lot. Now that's how it works. Keep going, keep learning things. So your homework for this week to wrap up this Mindset Monday is learn to suck at something new. Go ahead and try taking on something new. You don't have to be good at it. Nobody says you have to get it right on the first attempt. In fact, it's no fun if you get it right immediately. Life is not about the things you just get right the first time you try. It's about trying and trying and trying and climbing the mountain till you get to the top. Whatever the struggles are, it makes for much better war stories when you've struggled to achieve something, you sucked at it initially, and then you got good at it. So that's what I'm going to leave you with for this Mindset Monday. Go ahead, learn to suck at something new, and let me know what you discover. Please go ahead, like and subscribe down below, and leave me a comment on this channel. It really does help out with the algorithms in YouTube, and it allows people to discover this channel so that they can also share in what we're creating here together. Thank you for staying all the way to the end, and I look forward to hearing what you discovered from this Mindset Monday.